CLEP Principles of Management Exam Review. Question 1. During a management case, employees worry a new system will reduce their status or job security at a warehouse facility for the harbor unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A. Empowerment. Option B. Benchmarking. Option C. Resistance to change. Option D. Orientation. The correct answer is option C. Resistance to change. Resistance to change fits because resistance to change often comes from fear, uncertainty, or perceived loss. Empowerment is different because it gives people more discretion, benchmarking is different because it compares against best practices, and orientation is different because it introduces employees to the organization. Question 2. How should a manager classify a situation where a company gives managers broad guidance for handling customer refunds inside a project team for the harbor unit? Option A. Procedure. Option B. Rule. Option C. Policy. Option D. Vision. The correct answer is option C. Policy. Policy fits because a policy is a general guideline for recurring decisions. Procedure is different because it gives exact steps to follow. Rule is different because it states a specific required or prohibited action, and vision is different because it describes a desired future. Question 3. When a department head groups jobs, assigns authority, and allocates resources inside a training program for the harbor unit, which concept is being applied? Option A. Organizing. Option B. Planning. Option C. Leading. Option D. Controlling. The correct answer is option A. Organizing. Organizing fits because organizing creates the structure needed to carry out a plan. Planning is different because it chooses goals before the structure is built. Leading is different because it motivates people rather than designs jobs, and controlling is different because it checks performance after standards exist. Question 4. After a manager studies how changes in one department affect suppliers, employees, and customers during a manufacturing expansion for the harbor unit, which label best fits the action? Option A. Scientific management. Option B. Job specification. Option C. Downward communication. Option D. Systems theory. The correct answer is option D. Systems theory. Systems theory fits because systems theory views the organization as interdependent parts within a larger environment. Scientific management is different because it focuses on efficient task design. Job specification is different because it lists worker qualifications, and downward communication is different because it describes message direction. Question 5. If frontline employees send suggestions and problems to senior managers within a nonprofit organization for the harbor unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A. Downward communication. Option B. Horizontal communication. Option C. External communication. Option D. Upward communication. The correct answer is option D. Upward communication. Upward communication fits because upward communication flows from lower levels to higher levels. Downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees. Horizontal communication is different because it flows across peers, and external communication is different because it crosses organizational boundaries. Question 6. To analyze a case where union representatives and management negotiate wages, hours, and working conditions inside a regional branch for the harbor unit, which term should be selected? Option A. Mediation. Option B. Recruitment. Option C. Collective bargaining. Option D. Forecasting. The correct answer is option C. Collective bargaining. Collective bargaining fits because collective bargaining is the negotiation process between labor and management. Mediation is different because it uses a neutral helper in a dispute. Recruitment is different because it attracts job applicants, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 7. For an exam item where a diagram shows formal positions and reporting relationships in a customer service center for the harbor unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A. Balance sheet. Option B. SWOT table. Option C. Organization chart. Option D. Training plan. The correct answer is option C. Organization chart. Organization chart fits because an organization chart visually displays formal authority and reporting lines. Balance sheet is different because it reports financial position. SWOT table is different because it summarizes strategic factors, and training plan is different because it develops employee skills. Question 8. In a workplace example where an HR specialist advises managers about hiring rules without running their departments at a family-owned business for the harbor unit, which concept is tested? Option A. Line authority. Option B. Staff authority. Option C. Centralization. Option D. Concurrent control. The correct answer is option B. Staff authority. Staff authority fits because staff authority supports line managers with specialized advice. Line authority is different because it directly commands core work. Centralization is different because it concerns where decisions are made, and concurrent control is different because it monitors work in progress. Question 9. Before choosing an answer about team members, write ideas silently, discuss them, and rank the options in a multinational company for the harbor unit. Which concept should stand out? Option A, brainstorming. Option B, grapevine. Option C, job analysis. Option D, nominal group technique. The correct answer is option D, nominal group technique. Nominal group technique fits because the nominal group technique reduces dominance by collecting individual ideas before voting. Brainstorming is different because it usually encourages open idea generation. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job analysis is different because it studies work duties. Question 10. One manager notices that a manager defines a problem, lists alternatives, evaluates them, and selects a solution at a new startup for the harbor unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, grapevine. Option B, rational decision-making model. Option C, equity theory. Option D, laissez-faire leadership. The correct answer is option B, rational decision-making model. Rational decision-making model fits because the rational model uses a logical sequence to choose among alternatives. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication. Equity theory is different because it explains motivation through fairness, and laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers broad freedom. Question 11. Could a case where a routine refund request is handled with an established policy at a warehouse facility for the harbor unit best point to which concept? Option A, program decision. Option B, non-program decision. Option C, strategic alliance. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option A, program decision. Program decision fits because program decisions use rules or procedures for recurring problems. Non-program decision is different because it addresses new and unusual situations. Strategic alliance is different because it is cooperation between firms, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work. Question 12. Why would a scenario where an employee receives more tasks at the same skill level inside a project team for the harbor unit most likely test which idea? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, job rotation. Option C, job enlargement. Option D, empowerment. The correct answer is option C, job enlargement. Job enlargement fits because job enlargement expands the number of similar tasks in a job. Job enrichment is different because it adds deeper responsibility and growth. Job rotation is different because it moves people among different jobs, and empowerment is different because it gives decision authority. Question 13. Where does a company identifies a patented process it owns as an advantage inside a training program for the harbor unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, threat. Option B, opportunity. Option C, strength. Option D, weakness. The correct answer is option C, strength. Strength fits because a strength is an internal positive capability or resource. Threat is different because it is an external danger, opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and weakness is different because it is an internal limitation. Question 14. Should a student connect a leader changes direction and support based on follower readiness during a manufacturing expansion for the harbor unit with which management concept? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, bureaucratic management. Option C, situational leadership. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option C, situational leadership. Situational leadership fits because situational leadership adapts leader behavior to the maturity or readiness of followers. Autocratic leadership is different because it consistently centers decisions on the leader. Bureaucratic management is different because it emphasizes formal rules, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns jobs for motivation. Question 15. Which concept is shown when a company creates separate units for consumer products, business products, and services within a non-profit organization for the harbor unit? Option A, functional structure. Option B, simple structure. Option C, divisional structure. Option D, staff authority. The correct answer is option C, divisional structure. Divisional structure fits because a divisional structure groups work around products, customers, or regions. Functional structure is different because it groups by specialized activities. Simple structure is different because it has little formalization and few departments, and staff authority is different because it gives advice rather than a full divisional design. Question 16. Employees share unwritten values about how work should be done inside a regional branch for the harbor unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, organization chart. Option B, budget. Option C, job specification. Option D, organizational culture. The correct answer is option D, organizational culture. Organizational culture fits because organizational culture is the shared values, beliefs, and assumptions of members. Organization chart is different because it shows formal structure, budget is different because it allocates money, and job specification is different because it lists required qualifications. Question 17. During a management case, a new competitor enters the market with lower prices in a customer service center for the harbor unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, strength. Option B, threat. Option C, opportunity. Option D, procedure. The correct answer is option B, threat. Threat fits because a threat is an external condition that can harm performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage, opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and procedure is different because it is a sequence of steps. Question 18. How should a manager classify a situation where a supervisor is responsible for 12 direct reports at a family-owned business for the harbor unit? Option A, span of control. Option B, chain of command. Option C, unity of direction. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option A, span of control. Span of control fits because span of control is the number of employees reporting directly to a manager. Chain of command is different because it shows reporting lines rather than number of reports. Unity of direction is different because it aligns activities under one plan, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications. Question 19. When a leader inspires employees with a vision for major change in a multinational company for the harbor unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, transactional leadership. Option B, scientific management. Option C, budgetary control. Option D, transformational leadership. The correct answer is option D, transformational leadership. Transformational leadership fits because transformational leadership motivates people through vision, meaning, and change. Transactional leadership is different because it focuses on exchanges and rewards. Scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency, and budgetary control is different because it monitors financial results. Question 20. After a manager sends instructions and performance expectations to employees at a new startup for the harbor unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, downward communication. Option B, upward communication. Option C, horizontal communication. Option D, grapevine. The correct answer is option A, downward communication. Downward communication fits because downward communication flows from higher levels to lower levels. Upward communication is different because it moves from employees to managers. Horizontal communication is different because it moves among peers, and grapevine is different because it is informal and unofficial. Question 21. If a supervisor paraphrases an employee's concern before responding at a warehouse facility for the harbor unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, active listening. Option B, filtering. Option C, noise. Option D, downward control. The correct answer is option A, active listening. Active listening fits because active listening checks understanding and shows attention to the speaker. Filtering is different because it distorts information before it reaches the receiver. Noise is different because it interferes with communication, and downward control is different because it is not a standard communication concept. Question 22. To analyze a case where a team member keeps discussion focused on goals, facts, and deadlines inside a project team for the harbor unit, which term should be selected? Option A, task role. Option B, maintenance role. Option C, blocking role. Option D, informal authority. The correct answer is option A, task role. Task role fits because task roles help the group accomplish its work. Maintenance role is different because it supports relationships and morale. Blocking role is different because it disrupts group progress, and informal authority is different because it comes from influence rather than position. Question 23. For an exam item where leaders explain the organization's basic purpose and reason for existing inside a training program for the harbor unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, procedure. Option B, variance report. Option C, mission statement. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option C, mission statement. Mission statement fits because a mission statement states what the organization does and why it exists. Procedure is different because it gives step-by-step instructions. Variance report is different because it compares actual results with standards, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications for a job. Question 24. In a workplace example where an employee is motivated by achievement, recognition, responsibility, and growth during a manufacturing expansion for the harbor unit, which concept is tested? Option A, Maslow's hierarchy. Option B, equity theory. Option C, scientific management. Option D, Herzberg's two-factor theory. The correct answer is option D, Herzberg's two-factor theory. Herzberg's two-factor theory fits because Herzberg separates motivators from hygiene factors and links motivators to job satisfaction. Maslow's hierarchy is different because it organizes human needs in levels. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness of reward ratios, and scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency. Question 25. Before choosing an answer about a manager uses rewards and consequences to increase desired behavior within a non-profit organization for the harbor unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, equity theory. Option B, goal-setting theory. Option C, reinforcement theory. Option D, matrix structure. The correct answer is option C, reinforcement theory. Reinforcement theory fits because reinforcement theory explains behavior through its consequences. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness perceptions. Goal-setting theory is different because it emphasizes clear and challenging goals, and matrix structure is different because it creates dual reporting lines. Question 26. One manager notices that employees receive health insurance, paid leave, and retirement contributions inside a regional branch for the harbor unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, benefits. Option B, base pay. Option C, selection. Option D, SWOT analysis. The correct answer is option A, benefits. Benefits fits because benefits are indirect forms of compensation beyond direct wages or salary. Base pay is different because it is direct wage or salary compensation. Selection is different because it chooses employees, and SWOT analysis is different because it reviews strategic factors. Question 27. Could a case where a document lists the duties, responsibilities, and reporting relationships of a position in a customer service center for the harbor unit best point to which concept? Option A, job specification. Option B, job description. Option C, policy. Option D, forecast. The correct answer is option B, job description. Job description fits because a job description explains what the job holder does. Job specification is different because it lists qualifications needed. Policy is different because it gives broad decision guidance, and forecast is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 28. Why would a scenario where employees from different backgrounds are actively involved in meetings and decisions at a family-owned business for the harbor unit most likely test which idea? Option A, recruitment. Option B, filtering. Option C, inclusion. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option C, inclusion. Inclusion fits because inclusion means people are welcomed, respected, and able to contribute. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, filtering is different because it distorts communication, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy. Question 29. Where does new employees learn basic policies, expectations, and workplace routines in a multinational company for the harbor unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, recruitment. Option B, performance appraisal. Option C, orientation. Option D, arbitration. The correct answer is option C, orientation. Orientation fits because orientation introduces new hires to the organization and their jobs. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, performance appraisal is different because it evaluates results, and arbitration is different because it resolves disputes through a binding third party. Question 30. Should a student connect a firm discovers its outdated software is hurting productivity at a new startup for the harbor unit with which management concept? Option A, strength. Option B, weakness. Option C, opportunity. Option D, threat. The correct answer is option B, weakness. Weakness fits because a weakness is an internal limitation that can reduce performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage, opportunity is different because it comes from a favorable external condition, and threat is different because it comes from an unfavorable external condition. Question 31. Which concept is shown when a job is redesigned to include more responsibility, achievement, and growth at a warehouse facility for the harbor unit? Option A, job enlargement. Option B, job rotation. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, job simplification. The correct answer is option C, job enrichment. Job enrichment fits because job enrichment adds motivating factors to the depth of a job. Job enlargement is different because it adds more tasks at the same level. Job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and job simplification is different because it reduces task complexity. Question 32. A supervisor formally evaluates an employee's job results against standards inside a project team for the harbor unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, job analysis. Option B, recruitment. Option C, orientation. Option D, performance appraisal. The correct answer is option D, performance appraisal. Performance appraisal fits because performance appraisal assesses how well an employee met performance expectations. Job analysis is different because it studies job duties, recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and orientation is different because it introduces new hires. Question 33. During a management case, employees can trace who reports to whom from supervisor to executive inside a training program for the harbor unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, chain of command. Option B, job enrichment. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, equity theory. The correct answer is option A, chain of command. Chain of command fits because the chain of command shows the formal line of authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to work. Benchmarking is different because it compares performance with best practices, and equity theory is different because it concerns perceived fairness. Question 34. How should a manager classify a situation where a manager assigns a task and grants enough authority to complete it during a manufacturing expansion for the harbor unit? Option A, centralization. Option B, delegation. Option C, job rotation. Option D, arbitration. The correct answer is option B, delegation. Delegation fits because delegation transfers responsibility for work along with the authority needed to do it. Centralization is different because it keeps authority near the top. Job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and arbitration is different because it uses a third party to make a binding dispute decision. Question 35. When an employee receives performance input from supervisors, peers, subordinates, and sometimes customers within a nonprofit organization for the harbor unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, 360-degree feedback. Option B, self-managed team. Option C, job specification. Option D, budget control. The correct answer is option A, 360-degree feedback. 360-degree feedback fits because 360-degree feedback gathers appraisal information from multiple sources around the employee. Self-managed team is different because it gives a team control over work. Job specification is different because it lists qualifications, and budget control is different because it compares financial results with a budget. Question 36. After executives respond to a crisis the company has never faced before inside a regional branch for the harbor unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, program decision. Option B, non-program decision. Option C, procedure. Option D, standing plan. The correct answer is option B, non-program decision. Non-program decision fits because non-program decisions are novel, complex, and not solved by routine rules. Program decision is different because it handles repeated problems, procedure is different because it gives routine steps, and standing plan is different because it guides recurring situations. Question 37. If employees move among different positions to learn broader skills in a customer service center for the harbor unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, job enlargement. Option B, job enrichment. Option C, job rotation. Option D, specialization. The correct answer is option C, job rotation. Job rotation fits because job rotation shifts employees through different jobs to build variety and experience. Job enlargement is different because it adds similar tasks to one job. Job enrichment is different because it increases responsibility and meaning, and specialization is different because it narrows work into specific tasks. Question 38. To analyze a case where each side gives up part of what it wants to reach a settlement at a family-owned business for the harbor unit, which term should be selected? Option A, collaboration. Option B, avoidance. Option C, compromise. Option D, accommodation. The correct answer is option C, compromise. Compromise fits because compromise resolves conflict through mutual concessions. Collaboration is different because it seeks a fuller win-win solution. Avoidance is different because it sidesteps the issue, and accommodation is different because it yields to the other side. Question 39. For an exam item where a supervisor motivates employees and guides them toward a shared goal in a multinational company for the Harbor Unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, planning. Option B, leading. Option C, organizing. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option B, leading. Leading fits because leading focuses on influencing, motivating, and directing people. Planning is different because it is about setting direction before action. Organizing is different because it designs responsibilities and relationships, and controlling is different because it compares results with standards. Question 40. In a workplace example where a company reinforces a new process until it becomes the normal way to work at a new startup for the Harbor Unit, which concept is tested? Option A, unfreezing. Option B, storming. Option C, forecasting. Option D, refreezing. The correct answer is option D, refreezing. Refreezing fits because refreezing stabilizes a change so the new behavior lasts. Unfreezing is different because it prepares people for change, storming is different because it is a team development stage, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 41. Before choosing an answer about a neutral selection test disproportionately screens out a protected group without job-related justification at a warehouse facility for the Harbor Unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, adverse impact. Option C, management by objectives. Option D, horizontal communication. The correct answer is option B, adverse impact. Adverse impact fits because adverse impact occurs when an employment practice has an unfair discriminatory effect. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivators to work. Management by objectives is different because it sets agreed measurable goals, and horizontal communication is different because it occurs among peers. Question 42. One manager notices that a manager sets objectives and chooses actions before work begins inside a project team for the Harbor Unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, organizing. Option B, planning. Option C, leading. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option B, planning. Planning fits because planning is the function that defines goals and decides how to reach them. Organizing is different because it arranges resources after goals are set. Leading is different because it influences people to work toward goals, and controlling is different because it measures results against standards. Question 43. Could a case where a manager has the formal right to make decisions and direct work inside a training program for the Harbor Unit best point to which concept? Option A, responsibility. Option B, authority. Option C, accountability. Option D, motivation. The correct answer is option B, authority. Authority fits because authority is the legitimate right to command resources and give orders. Responsibility is different because it is the duty to perform assigned work. Accountability is different because it is being answerable for results, and motivation is different because it is the drive to act. Question 44. Why would a scenario where a leader focuses first on helping followers grow and succeed during a manufacturing expansion for the Harbor Unit most likely test which idea? Option A, servant leadership. Option B, autocratic leadership. Option C, transactional leadership. Option D, scientific management. The correct answer is option A, servant leadership. Servant leadership fits because servant leadership prioritizes follower development, service, and trust. Autocratic leadership is different because it emphasizes command by the leader. Transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes performance exchanges, and scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient work methods. Question 45. Where does branch managers are allowed to solve local customer problems without headquarters approval within a nonprofit organization for the Harbor Unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, decentralization. Option B, centralization. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, forecasting. The correct answer is option A, decentralization. Decentralization fits because decentralization gives lower levels more authority to make decisions. Centralization is different because it keeps authority at the top. Bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 46. Should a student connect middle managers convert broad goals into departmental actions inside a regional branch for the Harbor Unit with which management concept? Option A, tactical planning. Option B, strategic planning. Option C, orientation. Option D, collective bargaining. The correct answer is option A, tactical planning. Tactical planning fits because tactical planning translates strategy into plans for units or departments. Strategic planning is different because it is broader and handled mainly by top management. Orientation is different because it introduces new employees to the organization, and collective bargaining is different because it is negotiation between labor and management. Question 47. Which concept is shown when two departments search for a solution that fully addresses both sides' concerns in a customer service center for the harbor unit? Option A, avoidance. Option B, forcing. Option C, collaboration. Option D, compromise. The correct answer is option C, collaboration. Collaboration fits because collaboration tries to create a win-win outcome by addressing underlying interests. Avoidance is different because it postpones or ignores the conflict. Forcing is different because it uses power to win at the other's expense, and compromise is different because it requires each side to give up something. Question 48. A high-potential employee is prepared for future leadership roles at a family-owned business for the harbor unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, training. Option B, selection. Option C, development. Option D, job description. The correct answer is option C, development. Development fits because development builds long-term capabilities for future responsibilities. Training is different because it focuses more on current job skills. Selection is different because it chooses candidates, and job description is different because it lists current duties. Question 49. During a management case, a manager compares actual performance with standards and corrects a gap in a multinational company for the harbor unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, planning. Option B, controlling. Option C, organizing. Option D, leading. The correct answer is option B, controlling. Controlling fits because controlling measures results, compares them with standards, and triggers corrective action. Planning is different because it sets goals but does not measure completed results. Organizing is different because it assigns work and authority, and leading is different because it motivates people rather than evaluates variances. Question 50. How should a manager classify a situation where employees in marketing and operations coordinate work at the same level at a new startup for the harbor unit? Option A, horizontal communication. Option B, downward communication. Option C, upward communication. Option D, chain of command. The correct answer is option A, horizontal communication. Horizontal communication fits because horizontal communication occurs among people or units at similar levels. Downward communication is different because it flows down the hierarchy, upward communication is different because it flows up the hierarchy, and chain of command is different because it shows formal authority lines. Question 51. When leaders explain why old habits must change before introducing a new system at a warehouse facility for the harbor unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, unfreezing. Option B, refreezing. Option C, controlling. Option D, recruiting. The correct answer is option A, unfreezing. Unfreezing fits because unfreezing prepares people to let go of current behaviors and accept change. Refreezing is different because it stabilizes the new behavior. Controlling is different because it measures performance against standards, and recruiting is different because it attracts applicants. Question 52. After a team member reduces tension and encourages quieter members to participate inside a project team for the harbor unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, task role. Option B, maintenance role. Option C, program decision. Option D, line authority. The correct answer is option B, maintenance role. Maintenance role fits because maintenance roles support group relationships and cohesion. Task role is different because it focuses directly on completing the work. Program decision is different because it handles routine problems, and line authority is different because it commands core work activities. Question 53. If an organization relies on written rules, hierarchy, specialization, and formal procedures inside a training program for the harbor unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, adhocracy. Option B, grapevine. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option C, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy fits because bureaucracy is a formal structure built around rules, hierarchy, and defined roles. Adhocracy is different because it is flexible and innovation-oriented. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work for motivation. Question 54. To analyze a case where an employer uses job-related criteria and avoids discrimination in hiring during a manufacturing expansion for the harbor unit, which term should be selected? Option A, job enlargement. Option B, equal employment opportunity. Option C, grapevine. Option D, benchmarking. The correct answer is option B, equal employment opportunity. Equal employment opportunity fits because equal employment opportunity requires fair treatment in employment decisions. Job enlargement is different because it expands tasks, grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and benchmarking is different because it compares with best practices. Question 55. For an exam item where employees are grouped into departments such as finance, marketing, and operations within a non-profit organization for the harbor unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, functional structure. Option B, divisional structure. Option C, matrix structure. Option D, virtual team. The correct answer is option A, functional structure. Functional structure fits because a functional structure groups people by similar skills or activities. Divisional structure is different because it groups by product, customer, or geography. Matrix structure is different because it creates dual reporting lines, and virtual team is different because it works across distance through technology. Question 56. In a workplace example where managers study broad principles such as unity of command and division of work inside a regional branch for the harbor unit, which concept is tested? Option A, scientific management. Option B, quantitative management. Option C, e-business. Option D, administrative management. The correct answer is option D, administrative management. Administrative management fits because administrative management focuses on general principles for managing organizations. Scientific management is different because it focuses more on individual task efficiency. Quantitative management is different because it applies mathematical models, and e-business is different because it uses digital technology for business processes. Question 57. Before choosing an answer about a company prepares a backup response in case a supplier fails in a customer service center for the harbor unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, contingency plan. Option B, standing rule. Option C, job analysis. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option A, contingency plan. Contingency plan fits because a contingency plan prepares for possible future events or disruptions. Standing rule is different because it gives a continuing command for repeated behavior. Job analysis is different because it studies tasks and requirements, and downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees. Question 58. One manager notices that employees learn skills needed for their current job at a family-owned business for the harbor unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, development. Option B, recruitment. Option C, compensation. Option D, training. The correct answer is option D, training. Training fits because training develops abilities that improve current job performance. Development is different because it prepares employees for broader future roles. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and compensation is different because it provides pay and benefits. Question 59. Could a case where a leader recognizes frustration in a team and responds calmly in a multinational company for the harbor unit best point to which concept? Option A, technical skill. Option B, benchmarking. Option C, span of control. Option D, emotional intelligence. The correct answer is option D, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence fits because emotional intelligence involves understanding and managing emotions in oneself and others. Technical skill is different because it concerns specialized job knowledge. Benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leaders, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 60. Why would a scenario where a theorist emphasizes hierarchy, formal rules, and impersonal treatment at a new startup for the harbor unit most likely test which idea? Option A, human relations management. Option B, transformational leadership. Option C, bureaucratic management. Option D, JIT inventory. The correct answer is option C, bureaucratic management. Bureaucratic management fits because bureaucratic management explains organizations through formal authority, rules, and specialization. Human relations management is different because it emphasizes social and psychological factors. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires change through vision, and JIT inventory is different because it reduces inventory holding. Question 61. Where does a manager choose a satisfactory solution because time and information are limited at a warehouse facility for the harbor unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, perfect rationality. Option B, bounded rationality. Option C, brainstorming. Option D, management by exception. The correct answer is option B, bounded rationality. Bounded rationality fits because bounded rationality recognizes that managers cannot always make perfectly rational decisions. Perfect rationality is different because it assumes complete information and unlimited analysis. Brainstorming is different because it generates many ideas, and management by exception is different because it focuses attention on major deviations. Question 62. Should a student connect an employee accepts the duty to complete an assigned task inside a project team for the harbor unit with which management concept? Option A, authority. Option B, accountability. Option C, responsibility. Option D, centralization. The correct answer is option C, responsibility. Responsibility fits because responsibility is the obligation to perform assigned work. Authority is different because it is the right to direct work. Accountability is different because it is answerability for outcomes, and centralization is different because it keeps decisions at higher levels. Question 63. Which concept is shown when a manager uses formal authority to impose a conflict decision quickly inside a training program for the harbor unit? Option A, accommodation. Option B, forcing. Option C, collaboration. Option D, compromise. The correct answer is option B, forcing. Forcing fits because forcing is a win-lose style that relies on power or authority. Accommodation is different because it gives in to preserve harmony. Collaboration is different because it seeks mutual gains, and compromise is different because it splits concessions between sides. Question 64. A leader asks employees for input before making an important decision during a manufacturing expansion for the harbor unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, laissez-faire leadership. Option C, democratic leadership. Option D, transactional leadership. The correct answer is option C, democratic leadership. Democratic leadership fits because democratic leadership involves participation and shared input. Autocratic leadership is different because it relies on leader-centered decision-making. Laissez-faire leadership is different because it provides minimal direction, and transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes exchanges of rewards for performance. Question 65. During a management case, workers are told that safety goggles must be worn in the lab within a non-profit organization for the harbor unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, policy. Option B, strategy. Option C, empowerment. Option D, rule. The correct answer is option D, rule. Rule fits because a rule states exactly what must or must not be done. Policy is different because it offers broad guidance rather than a specific command. Strategy is different because it sets broad direction, and empowerment is different because it gives employees more decision authority. Question 66. How should a manager classify a situation where a new customer segment appears in the market inside a regional branch for the harbor unit? Option A, opportunity. Option B, weakness. Option C, strength. Option D, policy. The correct answer is option A, opportunity. Opportunity fits because an opportunity is an external condition the organization can use to improve results. Weakness is different because it is inside the organization, strength is different because it is an internal advantage, and policy is different because it is a general decision guideline. Question 67. When experts give anonymous opinions through several rounds of questionnaires in a customer service center for the harbor unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, Delphi technique. Option B, town hall meeting. Option C, functional structure. Option D, concurrent control. The correct answer is option A, Delphi technique. Delphi technique fits because the Delphi technique gathers expert judgment while reducing direct social pressure. Town hall meeting is different because it is open discussion rather than anonymous expert rounds. Functional structure is different because it groups similar activities, and concurrent control is different because it monitors current work. Question 68. After frontline supervisors plan specific daily activities and work routines at a family-owned business for the harbor unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, strategic planning. Option B, organization development. Option C, operational planning. Option D, benchmarking. The correct answer is option C, operational planning. Operational planning fits because operational planning deals with short-range tasks, procedures, and schedules. Strategic planning is different because it covers broad long-term direction. Organization development is different because it focuses on planned organizational change, and benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leading performers. Question 69. If managers recognize that social needs and group norms affect productivity in a multinational company for the harbor unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, human relations approach. Option B, scientific management. Option C, classical bureaucracy. Option D, PERT. The correct answer is option A, human relations approach. Human relations approach fits because the human relations approach emphasizes people, morale, and social factors at work. Scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient task methods. Classical bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes formal rules and hierarchy, and PERT is different because it schedules project activities. Question 70. To analyze a case where a team includes employees with different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives at a new startup for the harbor unit, which term should be selected? Option A, uniformity. Option B, centralization. Option C, workforce diversity. Option D, budget variance. The correct answer is option C, workforce diversity. Workforce diversity fits because workforce diversity refers to differences among employees that can affect work and decisions. Uniformity is different because it means sameness rather than difference. Centralization is different because it keeps authority at higher levels, and budget variance is different because it compares financial actuals with planned amounts. Question 71. For an exam item where a neutral third party hears a dispute and makes a binding decision at a warehouse facility for the harbor unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, arbitration. Option B, mediation. Option C, brainstorming. Option D, job rotation. The correct answer is option A, arbitration. Arbitration fits because arbitration gives the third party authority to decide the outcome. Mediation is different because it helps parties negotiate without imposing a decision. Brainstorming is different because it generates ideas, and job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs. Question 72. In a workplace example where a leader rewards employees for meeting agreed performance targets inside a project team for the harbor unit, which concept is tested? Option A, transformational leadership. Option B, servant leadership. Option C, situational leadership. Option D, transactional leadership. The correct answer is option D, transactional leadership. Transactional leadership fits because transactional leadership uses exchanges, rewards, and corrective actions. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires commitment to change. Servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers, and situational leadership is different because it adapts style to readiness. Question 73. Before choosing an answer about managers, compare applicants and choose the best person for the job inside a training program for the harbor unit. Which concept should stand out? Option A, recruitment. Option B, training. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, selection. The correct answer is option D, selection. Selection fits because selection is the process of screening and hiring from the applicant pool. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, training is different because it builds skills after hiring, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor conditions. Question 74. One manager notices that a production manager directly supervises employees who make the company's product during a manufacturing expansion for the harbor unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, staff authority. Option B, informal authority. Option C, line authority. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option C, line authority. Line authority fits because line authority is direct authority over core work activities. Staff authority is different because it provides advice and support. Informal authority is different because it comes from relationships rather than formal position, and mediation is different because it helps parties settle a dispute. Question 75. Could a case where a team ignores warning signs because members want agreement more than realistic evaluation within a non-profit organization for the harbor unit best point to which concept? Option A, groupthink. Option B, constructive conflict. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, equity theory. The correct answer is option A, groupthink. Groupthink fits because groupthink occurs when pressure for harmony weakens critical thinking. Constructive conflict is different because it encourages useful disagreement. Benchmarking is different because it compares with best practices, and equity theory is different because it focuses on perceived fairness. Question 76. Why would a scenario where a manager must explain why a project missed its target inside a regional branch for the harbor unit most likely test which idea? Option A, authority. Option B, delegation. Option C, recruitment. Option D, accountability. The correct answer is option D, accountability. Accountability fits because accountability means being answerable for results. Authority is different because it is decision-making power. Delegation is different because it transfers work and authority to another person, and recruitment is different because it attracts job applicants. Question 77. Where does consultants help improve culture, teamwork, and readiness for change in a customer service center for the harbor unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, scientific management. Option B, recruitment. Option C, budget variance analysis. Option D, organization development. The correct answer is option D, organization development. Organization development fits because organization development uses planned interventions to improve organizational effectiveness. Scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency, recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and budget variance analysis is different because it compares planned and actual financial results. Question 78. Should a student connect? A manager chooses a leadership style based on the team's skill and the situation at a family-owned business for the harbor unit with which management concept? Option A, one best way approach. Option B, equity theory. Option C, centralization. Option D, contingency theory. The correct answer is option D, contingency theory. Contingency theory fits because contingency theory says effective management depends on situational factors. One best way approach is different because it assumes one method works everywhere. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness perceptions, and centralization is different because it concerns where authority is held. Question 79. Which concept is shown when a posting lists required education, skills, and experience for the role in a multinational company for the harbor unit? Option A, job description. Option B, job specification. Option C, procedure. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option B, job specification. Job specification fits because a job specification identifies qualifications a worker needs for the job. Job description is different because it lists duties performed, procedure is different because it gives steps for a task, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 80. Major decisions must be approved by top executives at a new startup for the harbor unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, centralization. Option B, decentralization. Option C, empowerment. Option D, horizontal communication. The correct answer is option A, centralization. Centralization fits because centralization concentrates decision authority at higher levels. Decentralization is different because it pushes authority to lower levels, empowerment is different because it gives employees more discretion, and horizontal communication is different because it flows among peers. Question 81. During a management case, a leader makes decisions alone and expects quick compliance at a warehouse facility for the harbor unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, democratic leadership. Option B, autocratic leadership. Option C, laissez-faire leadership. Option D, servant leadership. The correct answer is option B, autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership fits because autocratic leadership centralizes authority in the leader. Democratic leadership is different because it invites participation, laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers wide freedom, and servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers' needs. Question 82. How should a manager classify a situation where an employee follows formal steps to challenge a contract violation inside a project team for the harbor unit? Option A, selection procedure. Option B, budgeting process. Option C, grievance procedure. Option D, brainstorming. The correct answer is option C, grievance procedure. Grievance procedure fits because a grievance procedure gives employees a formal path for resolving workplace complaints. Selection procedure is different because it screens job applicants, budgeting process is different because it plans financial resources, and brainstorming is different because it generates ideas before judging them. Question 83. When employees follow a required sequence for approving purchase orders inside a training program for the harbor unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, policy. Option B, mission. Option C, procedure. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option C, procedure. Procedure fits because a procedure lists the steps for completing a recurring task. Policy is different because it is broader and less step-by-step. Mission is different because it states the organization's purpose, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 84. After work is studied to find the most efficient way to perform each task during a manufacturing expansion for the harbor unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, scientific management. Option B, human relations approach. Option C, contingency theory. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option A, scientific management. Scientific management fits because scientific management emphasizes task analysis, standard methods, and efficiency. Human relations approach is different because it emphasizes social needs and worker attitudes. Contingency theory is different because it argues management depends on the situation, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes hierarchy and rules. Question 85. If a leader gives capable experts broad freedom and little direct supervision within a nonprofit organization for the harbor unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, bureaucratic leadership. Option C, laissez-faire leadership. Option D, transactional leadership. The correct answer is option C, laissez-faire leadership. Laissez-faire leadership fits because laissez-faire leadership minimizes leader control and allows follower autonomy. Autocratic leadership is different because it is directive and centralized. Bureaucratic leadership is different because it follows rules closely, and transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes rewards and corrections. Question 86. To analyze a case where employees work harder when they believe effort leads to performance and performance leads to valued rewards inside a regional branch for the harbor unit, which term should be selected? Option A, equity theory. Option B, expectancy theory. Option C, reinforcement theory. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option B, expectancy theory. Expectancy theory fits because expectancy theory connects effort, performance, and outcomes. Equity theory is different because it centers on fairness comparisons. Reinforcement theory is different because it focuses on consequences after behavior, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy. Question 87. For an exam item where a team generates many ideas before judging any of them in a customer service center for the harbor unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, groupthink. Option B, arbitration. Option C, budgeting. Option D, brainstorming. The correct answer is option D, brainstorming. Brainstorming fits because brainstorming separates idea generation from evaluation to encourage creativity. Groupthink is different because it pressures members toward agreement. Arbitration is different because it lets a third party decide a dispute, and budgeting is different because it plans financial resources. Question 88. In a workplace example where a manager postpones addressing a conflict and hopes it disappears at a family-owned business for the harbor unit, which concept is tested? Option A, forcing. Option B, collaboration. Option C, avoidance. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option C, avoidance. Avoidance fits because avoidance delays or withdraws from conflict rather than solving it directly. Forcing is different because it uses authority to impose a solution. Collaboration is different because it openly works through both sides' concerns, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral facilitator. Question 89. Before choosing an answer about executives, choose broad long-term goals for the whole organization in a multinational company for the harbor unit. Which concept should stand out? Option A, operational planning. Option B, strategic planning. Option C, work scheduling. Option D, performance appraisal. The correct answer is option B, strategic planning. Strategic planning fits because strategic planning sets organization-wide direction over a longer time horizon. Operational planning is different because it focuses on short-term day-to-day activities. Work scheduling is different because it assigns timing to tasks, and performance appraisal is different because it evaluates employee results. Question 90. One manager notices that leaders describe what the organization wants to become in the future at a new startup for the harbor unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, role. Option B, vision statement. Option C, job description. Option D, concurrent control. The correct answer is option B, vision statement. Vision statement fits because a vision statement expresses an inspiring future state. Role is different because it states a specific required or prohibited behavior. Job description is different because it lists duties of a position, and concurrent control is different because it monitors work while it is happening. Question 91. Could a case where workers plan, schedule, monitor, and control much of their own work at a warehouse facility for the harbor unit best point to which concept? Option A, traditional team. Option B, self-managed team. Option C, virtual organization. Option D, quality circle. The correct answer is option B, self-managed team. Self-managed team fits because self-managed teams have authority over many administrative and work process decisions. Traditional team is different because it relies more on a supervisor for direction. Virtual organization is different because it uses networks and technology across locations. And quality circle is different because it usually recommends improvements rather than manages all work. Question 92. Why would a scenario where an organization designs pay rates, incentives, and salary ranges inside a project team for the harbor unit most likely test which idea? Option A, benefits. Option B, recruitment. Option C, compensation. Option D, quality control. The correct answer is option C, compensation. Compensation fits because compensation covers financial rewards given for employee work. Benefits is different because they are indirect rewards such as insurance or leave. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and quality control is different because it checks output against standards. Question 93. Where does employees share unofficial information before management makes a formal announcement inside a training program for the harbor unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, organization chart. Option B, grapevine. Option C, policy manual. Option D, budget report. The correct answer is option B, grapevine. Grapevine fits because the grapevine is the informal communication network inside an organization. Organization chart is different because it is a formal structure diagram. Policy manual is different because it gives official guidance, and budget report is different because it gives financial control information. Question 94. Should a student connect a neutral third party helps disputing employees reach their own agreement during a manufacturing expansion for the harbor unit with which management concept? Option A, mediation. Option B, arbitration. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, groupthink. The correct answer is option A, mediation. Mediation fits because mediation guides the process without imposing a binding decision. Arbitration is different because it usually gives the third-party decision power. Collective bargaining is different because it is labor management negotiation, and groupthink is different because it is pressure toward agreement. Question 95. Which concept is shown when managers set expected revenues and spending limits for a department within a nonprofit organization for the harbor unit? Option A, organization chart. Option B, job description. Option C, grapevine. Option D, budget. The correct answer is option D, budget. Budget fits because a budget is a financial plan that helps allocate and control resources. Organization chart is different because it shows formal reporting relationships. Job description is different because it lists position duties, and grapevine is different because it is informal communication. Question 96. A team writes a goal that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound inside a regional branch for the harbor unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, vision statement. Option B, SMART goal. Option C, grapevine. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option B, SMART goal. SMART goal fits because SMART goals are clear enough to guide action and evaluate results. Vision statement is different because it describes a desired future rather than a measurable target. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and bureaucracy is different because it is a formal rule-based structure. Question 97. During a management case, managers estimate future sales before setting staffing levels in a customer service center for the harbor unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, delegation. Option B, forecasting. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option B, forecasting. Forecasting fits because forecasting predicts future conditions so managers can plan more intelligently. Delegation is different because it assigns responsibility and authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to a job, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral party to guide dispute resolution. Question 98. How should a manager classify a situation where an employee compares pay and effort with coworkers and judges fairness at a family-owned business for the harbor unit? Option A, expectancy theory. Option B, equity theory. Option C, Maslow's theory. Option D, TQM. The correct answer is option B, equity theory. Equity theory fits because equity theory focuses on perceived fairness between inputs and outcomes. Expectancy theory is different because it asks whether effort will lead to valued rewards. Maslow's theory is different because it ranks needs in a hierarchy, and TQM is different because it focuses on continuous quality improvement. Question 99. When an engineer reports to both a functional manager and a project manager in a multinational company for the harbor unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, functional structure. Option B, centralization. Option C, matrix structure. Option D, job analysis. The correct answer is option C, matrix structure. Matrix structure fits because a matrix structure combines functional and project authority, creating dual reporting. Functional structure is different because it usually has one functional chain, centralization is different because it refers to where decisions are made, and job analysis is different because it studies the content of a job. Question 100. After managers compare internal strengths and weaknesses with external opportunities and threats at a new startup for the harbor unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, PERT analysis. Option B, performance appraisal. Option C, SWOT analysis. Option D, collective bargaining. The correct answer is option C, SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis fits because SWOT analysis organizes internal and external factors for strategic planning. PERT analysis is different because it schedules complex project activities, performance appraisal is different because it evaluates an employee's work, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor agreements.